we'll discuss the right hand position. Basically, what you want is you want to be very loose with your right hand. It should be as if you're just walking down the street with your hand just as normal as it would be. Okay? And let me just take this off so I can show you a couple things. Basically, you want to be real loose. Just basically, if you just bring your hand up and put it on the instrument, you'll see in some people, they'll have this extreme kind of an angle here. You don't want that. Why? Because this is cutting off a lot of your circulation when you do this. You'll see some of the, and Targa, in fact, has this angle on his right wrist. This cuts off a lot of circulation and creates stress, which you do not need. You need to play relaxed and keep the energy flowing through here. You don't need to cut off this here. And you'll see, because what teachers are telling people to do with this right hand here, the position starts right from the ground up and works right through the whole body, right through here. It has nothing to do with, you don't start at the end and work to the beginning. You start at the beginning and work to the end. So the beginning is this, the 4 points, then the hand coming up, and to having this wrist position is very important here. You don't want a wrist like this. You just want it flat. You want a nice flat wrist, and you don't want to be too far back in like this or out like that. You don't want this curvature. You want a nice straight angle. Because this doesn't work, and that doesn't work in the long run. What works is just the way God designed it, which is just straight. Okay? Now, the key to the right hand is this group of knuckles right here. You'll see that there's a line right here on these knuckles. And these knuckles should parallel these strings right here. Okay? Now, there's a little bit of a game in here on where you find that for yourself. This can be adjusted too, up or down, to get this dimension correct here. You need to have this parallel. Now, some people will go like this. They'll make a fist. This is the best way I can show it. You make a fist like this. You've got this angle here. It should be parallel with this here. Now, just take your thumb, place it on your low E, and leave it there. Now, drop your I finger, your M finger, and your A finger. P, I, M, A. Comes from the Spanish. Pulgar, I, M, A. Pulgar is thumb, angular is A.
Can you just explain that the thumb is the thumb?
Basically, you want this position here, okay? And you want this angle straight. So you can begin like this and you just drop your fingers down.
Kevin, explain what the PIA in layman's terms for people that...
It comes from the Spanish.
Well, just tell me that's the index
P
and the middle.
is your thumb, I is your index,
okay,
M is your middle, and
do that again.
A is your ring.
Do that again.
P, I, M, A. In classical guitar, there is no notation or no connotation for the pinky. You just don't see it. The pinky is used a lot in flamenco tradition. It's not used at all in classical unless you are doing a rasgueado, which is a brush strumming technique from flamenco. We're not going to discuss flamenco in these lessons. Now, when we're discussing the right hand position, to get back to that. Now, what you want is you want a nice curvature to your fingers here. As you can see, this direction here. You don't want this. And you never want to break down this knuckle or this knuckle. This should be a nice curvature here. And you never want to play from this knuckle. Why? Because what you get is a very tinny type of sound. When you walk down the street, you don't walk with just your knees and your ankles. You walk with your hips. And your hips are a big part of it when you walk down the street. Same thing with guitar. You've got these muscles right here are using, this is a very powerful muscle here. So you're playing from from this knuckles where you play, not from here. Not from here.
Demonstrate it.
Basically, see, listen to that sound. It's a much better sound than, this is a much more, as opposed to this. Now also we have different strokes in guitar. The two main strokes are a free and a rest stroke.